Welcome to episode 171. Today, we're talking about moving forward. It's not always a straight line. You know that old expression, 1 step forward, 3 steps back? Yeah. You think you know where you're going, but life throws curveballs at you. Somebody needs you for something, your health throws you a curveball, or that place where you saw yourself all of a sudden evaporates as an opportunity. How well prepared are you? The need to move forward may come as the result of retirement. The opposite of working is not working. But not everybody wants to go straight to not working. There's a sideways path. You know, you may choose to consult or work part-time or volunteer, perhaps mentor. You never know what will happen. After you have fulfilled those sideways steps, you will ultimately get to your goal of not working. Maybe. Some people like to work forever. That's fair. But these new jogs in your path will probably introduce you to new friends, expose you to new technologies, and maybe even open up pathways that you didn't even know exist. So those sideways jogs in your life can be very beneficial. Now, sometimes the path forward gets sidetracked by the death of a loved one, and you need to take the time and give yourself the grace to find out who you are without this person. You may find that stereotypes hold you back from the vision that you have, stereotypes that you have and stereotypes that those around you have. Don't get too suckered into those. Stereotypes are made to be broken, and you're just the person to do it. You have to be willing to go sideways sometimes before you can go forward. You also have to be willing to compromise. But the art of compromise brings with it the need to know which issues are a hard stop. Here's a for instance. You may have a hard stop that you want to live independently for as long as you possibly can. Hard stop, no option. I would consider proactively downsizing to an apartment as a forward movement. You know, something that better suits your need physically, better suits your financial requirements, perhaps. It's a sideways step if something happens that forces that move on you. But if you proactively make the choice, then the choice is yours. You get to choose the neighborhood, you get to choose the furniture you want, you get to choose the layout, the fundamentals of how you'll live. You know, that's a really big deal. And although it might not be your ideal, you may want to stay in that family home that you've been in forever, but if it no longer serves you, then the path forward is better if you get to choose it. You've chosen a goal to rid yourself of that environment that's no longer working for you. What about other environments that no longer work for you? You know, we've talked on this show about relationships and extricating yourself from relationships that really aren't healthy anymore. That's a forward movement that can have lots of jigs and jags along the road. We've talked about dating in our older years. In fact, just a week ago, I guess, we published an article on theoldish.com about the new trend. I don't know how new it is because I think it's really been happening. It's just more public now. Anyway, of older women dating younger men. I think they're doing it more openly. But there are benefits to both, and maybe it's something you hadn't considered. That's a good path forward, wouldn't you think? But here's an example of an issue where you may have made a decision on a path forward in your intimate relationships and saying, I'm never getting married again. No way, no how, not happening. Well, your intimate relationships are very seldom a straight line. They are filled with jigs and jags. And while you may have decided that you're never getting married again, one day you may just meet this special person. And as your relationship develops, you realize that the path forward involves that person. So you have taken a sideways step. The path forward is still a happy, healthy relationship, but now it involves that unanticipated partner. It's all good. So here's what I have to say about the path forward and the side steps you may encounter. Be prepared to say no. Say no to the things that you don't want to do, that you may feel pressure to do from other people because it benefits them to have you do this, not so much because it benefits you. And the benefit to them, let's be clear about this, it's not always something nefarious. The benefit to them could be that it eases their anxiety, that it eases their fears for your health and your safety. But if you can put the appropriate steps in place, the appropriate mitigations, there's no reason that you have to bow to the pressure. Say no and choose your own path. Say no to looking backward at the way things were. It's not like that anymore. Look straight forward. That's where your future is. And you need to acknowledge that and be aware of it. You can say no to getting your own way. Yeah, sometimes we're really stubborn. Sometimes we're stuck in that, we've always done it this way mentality, or an old habit that no longer serves us. And we need to be strong enough and analytical enough to sit down and understand what serves us and what doesn't, and say yes to the things that serve us. Sometimes getting in our own way is really just a function of our own doubts. We doubt our own capabilities. There are lots of what ifs, but here's a big what if for you. What if you miss out on something? That's when you have to learn to say yes. Say yes to new friendships. Say yes to new opportunities. Say yes to experiences that you may have watched from afar and wondered about, but been a little too shy to take that step. Say yes to changes that will make your life a better place to be for a longer period of time. I also hope that you will say yes to joining us next Wednesday at 12 noon. Until then, take care of one another and take care of yourself.